I've actually done multiple videos on this subject over the last 3 or 4 days or so, but I haven't released them because each new day there's been something different. So I wanted to wait until everything's settled before I got a video out the way. So Amir Khan has said that he is not fighting Chris. You know what? This is what we're going to do. I am T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live, along with RealCombatMedia.com. And basically, Amir Khan on his wife's YouTube channel stated that he would be fighting Chris Algieri. He even named Chris Algieri as an A-class opponent. I'm going to let you listen for yourselves. And now we're finding out that Showtime will not be televising the fight if it does go through. And now Amir Khan is saying that the fight is not 100% official. So now I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, I'm not dumb. The only reason why it's not official is because you have no network to promote, to show the fight. Now, of course, if he wants to fight on HBO, HBO would love to maybe serve Al Heyman a little bit of sour grapes. They have Amir Khan fighting back on HBO against Chris Algieri. You can't say PBC because those dates, put it this way, Khan is supposed to fight on May the 30th in the Barclays Center on Madison Square Garden, likely the Barclays Center. But Khan, on May the 30th, we don't know what NBC or CBS is doing. And can you imagine Amir Khan fighting on Spike TV? So what I'm thinking is, in my opinion, that in order for Showtime to pick up the Amir Khan May the 30th date, he has to come with a better opponent. Also, in my opinion, Amir Khan shouldn't be fighting someone who is coming off of a defeat. Amir Khan talks a lot. Amir Khan has a lot of fans to prove wrong. And fighting someone like Chris Algieri, who is no threat to Amir Khan, if you look at it on paper, he's no threat. He's no threat. So I'm thinking to myself, well, Amir Khan, people are they're not going to support you when you're pulling moves like this. And especially when Amir Khan is trying to clown Kell Brook for fighting JoJo Dan, and JoJo Dan was the mandatory. Now, if you don't know what I mean, is the IBF hasn't been messing around. For example, right now, what is the day? It's April 8th, 2015. The IBF has said if Lamont Peterson doesn't win against Danny Garcia, they're going to strip him, even though it's not a title shot. The IBF made Carl Froch fight George Groves twice, and then, still stripped him. You see what I'm saying? Sergey Kovalev has to fight his IBF mandatory in June, and then after that, he'll be able to fight Adonis Stevenson. So when it comes to the IBF, they make their mandatories. So it's tough when, like me, knowing the politics of boxing, and I'm hearing Amir Khan clowning him, and I'm thinking to myself, well, he had to fight JoJo Dan. Now, of course, to his defense, I understand that Eddie Hearn and Kell Brook know that Amir Khan cannot fight in June, because of Ramadan, he can't, So to his defense, I understand that they're kind of blowing smoke, but at the same time, Amir Khan has lied to us so many times. So what I'm going to do is, I want to put this on the big speakers. So give me a couple of seconds. This is T-Street Controversy Live. Please subscribe. Now we're going to listen to the whole interview, and then we got so much to talk about. We got to talk about what he said on IFL TV. What is going on? We got to talk about what he said on IFL TV. We got to talk about the current IBF situation as a whole. Basically, we got a lot to discuss. My bad. I'm trying to get my Google Chromecast to work so I can. There we go. What is going on? Alright, now, put it this way. There's so much wrong with the situation, and it's like none of it makes sense. And honestly, it looks like Amir Khan or Amir Khan's team is not telling the truth. So of course, we want to get to the bottom of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this for you. Listen to it. We're going to listen to it in full. And this was him officially announcing that he was fighting Chris Algieri on May the 30th, 2015. I am T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live.
Hi everyone, I did say I'm going to announce my next opponent on this channel, and the next opponent will be Chris Algieri, who will be taking out 547 pounds.
In this first round against Manny Pacquiao. A pivotal round in the fight.
He's from New York, he's at 21 fights, only lost one fight. He's the same height as me, he's 5'10". Ranked number 8 in the world. His last fight, which the only fight he's lost, was against Manny Pacquiao, which was in Macau, and that led Manny Pacquiao to go on and fight Floyd Mayweather. He's a former WBO world champion, and he beat Ruslan Tvornikov, who's an amazing fighter as well. He's a tough guy. He's Russian, comes forward to fight. He won the world title of him. Also, he's beaten the likes of Emmanuel Taylor, which is another good fighter. So, he is one of them. You can class him as an A-class opponent. He has fought decent opponents, beat decent opponents, and just fell short against Manny Pacquiao, which is an A-star opponent, really. So, we're looking at fighting in, I like New York. I think New York's a great venue for me. Having that fight in New York will, be good for me. Be good for the UK fans in a way, because it'll give them a chance to travel, and it won't be as far as going to Vegas. They're not fought in New York since I fought against Paddy Malignaggi. I had a great performance against him, and that was at Madison Square Garden. This time I like to fight the Barclays Center, which I've never fought at. I've been to a few fights over there. Never had the chance to fight over there just yet, but this could be the first time I go back there and fight there. So I'm looking forward to getting this fight announced officially by my manager advisor Algieri. They think it's the right fight for me. They want to keep me going, taking over. I had some good fights in the back-to-back. I had the fight against Palazzo, which I won comfortably, and then fought against Ken Alexander. Beat him comfortably. So this is another fight for me, which is going to bring a different style. Algieri's, come forward fighter, sometimes goes backwards. He's a decent boxer overall. You know that to box, you know that to move well. He takes a decent amount of shots, and he's got a decent amount of power. So I think overall it's going to be a good fight for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hope the family can end this fight. I'm going to give them a great fight. Basically, I want to give them 100%, and hopefully this can lead me on to the bigger fights in the future. So guys, there you have it, and hopefully it's going to be Chris Algieri. I'm happy with the fight. My advisor Algieri is very happy with the fight, and so is my trainer.
So as you know, or you should know, that the fight is not official. As it's looking right now, is that they're going back to the drawing board. They're getting another opponent, and it's not going to be Chris Algieri, because the network of choice, and if you know Amir Khan and Mal Heyman, they don't have a working relationship with HBO, so the network of choice would be Showtime, and Showtime said, we're not showing that shit. Amir Khan's beef is that that Showtime picked up Carol Brook versus JoJo Dan. That was the premiere of a new boxing telecast called Showtime International. And in my opinion, Showtime did good for the future of boxing in picking up that Carol Brook JoJo Dan fight. As far as we need to be able to see international fights in the United States. I like the fact that Carol Brook fight when he won against Carol. I like that the title fight with Kell Brook versus Sean Porter was on Showtime. And I like the fact that Showtime, since they did really good with that fight, decided to bring Kell Brook back. So Amir Khan, what he's talking about with that, he can't really, he can't, like, put it this way, he's trying to clown Kell Brook for fighting his mandatory and trying to basically, like, take a shot at Showtime for picking up the fight but not picking up Algieri. It's like, well, for one, like, Amir Khan is extremely overmatched, against Chris Algieri, in my opinion. Kell Brook was overmatched against Jojo Dan, but I'm talking from a business and from a marketing standpoint. It's fire and ice. You can't compare the two situations to where Showtime is trying to make its mark in international boxing, and Amir Khan, you're established in the United States, you can say, I guess, and you're established over there in the UK. So, for him to say, well, Chris Algieri is a bigger opponent, or a better opponent than No Dan, I'm thinking, well, if he didn't fight him, he was going to get his belt stripped, So, honestly, there's so much I know about the situation. Like, for example, Amir Khan is the WBC silver champion, so which makes him the mandatory for Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, the winner of that. He met with Manny Pacquiao early this year, and of course, him and Floyd Mayweather are advised by the same guy. Thank you, El Heyman. Thank you. And what we see is that if you don't know how the sport works, or if you don't know about the sanctioning bodies and what the belts mean and everything, then this stuff can be easily overlooked. But Amir Khan knows that he don't have to fight until September, or November, whoever wins between. He don't have to fight until after Mayweather Pacquiao, and fight the winner of that. But he wants to have a fight in between, and I'm thinking, well, you might as well just sit out, because for one, it just looks bad for him to fight Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri has 8 KOs. Chris Algieri is no threat. When he fought Luis Collazo, Luis Collazo wasn't a threat. Maybe punching power, yeah, but the way Amir Khan talks superstar talk. And that's the issue I have. He talks as if he's just one of the boxing elite. And it's like, you're not fighting, And I'm a guy, listen, I've covered like the last 7 Amir Khan fights. So it's like, I'm watching you get beat up by Danny Garcia. Okay, the Lamont Peterson thing, okay. Okay, whatever. Julio Diaz was knocking him all around the ring. You fight a smaller fighter in Carlos Molina. No, not that Molina. Then you fight, Luis Collazo. I'm not saying it in order, of course. And then you fight Luis Collazo, and then Devin Alexander, and now Chris Algieri. And I'm supposed to be like, how can you expect fans to ride with you, And that's when I think, like, well, he don't care. He knows that he got his Mayweather or Pacquiao shot, and he feels he can beat one or both of them. And in my opinion, he can beat, he has a chance to defeat both of them skill-wise, but at the same time, it's like, you horn yourself out. And then you got to understand, he has somewhat of a history of saying things, or his team releasing things that are untruthful. Like his PR team, in my opinion, is shit. So when it comes to, like the sparring of Andre Ward, when it comes to the Mayweather contract was already signed, like it's just so many different things that it makes me think like, like it's bullshit, Amir Khan, and I want to like the guy because he's really gifted, he's good. It's just that we know that his chin is being protected until at least he gets Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao, and that's it. That's what it boils down to. Because if he fights Kell Brook, even though he would be the favorite against a Kell Brook, and like I said, he can't fight Kell Brook in June, religious reasons, and I got close friends who are Islamic, so I know he can't fight Kell Brook in June. Simple as that. But what I'm saying is, if he was to fight Kell Brook in May, if he was to fight Kell Brook this year before he fights Mayweather or Pacquiao, Kell Brook has the chance to put an end to Amir Khan. So imagine if Amir Khan loses to Kell Brook. Amir Khan is done. He's going to be a laughingstock over in the UK, and he's going to be done. So, like he feels it's too much of a risk, or it seems he feels as though it's too much of a risk to fight a Kell Brook right now. Now, what he's saying is, why not wait until, it's a fight where we can make, 15 to 20 million pounds. I say, okay, yeah, right, Amir Khan, okay. It's just that I don't like the path he's taking to get to Mayweather or Pacquiao. I don't like the path that he's taking. But yeah, what people say to a guy like me, well, Pacquiao fought Chris Algieri. Chris Algieri was, listen. I understand all that shit, but at the same time, at least Chris Algieri was undefeated. So, you know, coming off of a high-profile win against Ruslan Bivotnikov, Chris Algieri was coming off a very bad high-profile loss to Manny Pacquiao. And Amir Khan's fighting him. Guy doesn't even have 10 KOs, you know? It seems like the guys that Amir Khan's fighting his last 3 fights. His last 3 fights, KO percentage has dropped. You know, Luis Collazo, I forgot how many KOs he had. I think it was like 18 or something at the time. I forgot, but you can go check it out. I know Devin Alexander only had 14, and then now Chris Algieri only has 8. Next, he's going to try to go after Mauricio Herrera, you know, or, you know, a Paulie Malignaggi again, you know, so that's just my personal opinion, of course. But like I said, the fact that Amir Khan has that WBC silver, a lot of people aren't talking about it, but he knows, and Al Heyman knows, because they promised him that, listen, you're the mandatory for Floyd Money Mayweather. You know, you're the mandatory for the winner of that fight. So, you know, it's a shame because, you know, the same thing goes for Kell Brook. It's like, you know, you got you got Keith Thurmans out there. You got Robert Guerrero's, you know, you got Sean Porter's and Andre Berto's, you know. Even in my opinion, a Jose Zito Lopez will be a tough guy for an Amir Khan, but at the same time, you know why? We want to see fans, and it's not just me. We want to see Amir Khan get chin tested. That's all we want to see. We don't want to necessarily see him get hit and see how he holds up. We want to see him going up against a good quality opponent. And right now, it's like he talk all this big talk, but guess what? Fans don't even have him beating Keith Thurman. You know, so I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Like I said, the story is deep. I know a lot, you know, so be sure to subscribe to Be Real TV. Be sure to visit realcombatmedia.com. Also, check out GTM Sports Banners like page on Facebook. And, you know, as the story develops, if there's more, you know, we'll talk about it. But as it stands right now, let me point this out at the end of the video. The IBF offered Amir Khan and his team a chance to fight Timothy Bradley for the IBF 147-pound mandatory, and he turned it down. His team turned it down. But then he has an interview with the Cougs and Cassius on IFL TV where he says his team didn't get a notice. So it's like, it's stuff like that. It's like, yo. And you know, he said, oh, I'll fight. If the IBF did order that fight, I'll fight I'll fight Timothy Bradley in a heartbeat. But then we found out that the IBF says, yo, yeah, we did reach out to his team. So it's like, you know, you're an Al Heyman guy. So it's hard for me to believe when Amir Khan says some shit like, well, you know, maybe they told a member of my team they didn't get back to me. It's like, yo, fire that motherfucker in. You know, let's not know, you know, you talking about you'll fight Timothy Bradley in a heartbeat, but yet you don't know that the IBF made you the mandatory. It's like, yo, like, how do you don't know shit like that? You know, somebody gotta lose their job. Anyway, I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. Please subscribe.